Hi. My topic today is peace at the precipice. Those of us who are waiting for profound change and are confident that it is coming, as I still am and millions around the world still are, wonder what Q meant by the precipice. It seems we've been on many precipices for a long time. The economy is tanking. Our country is tanking under the Democrat corrupt rule. I just watched a video yesterday that I think it was a devolution video that affirmed that socialism is the face of communism in this country, in this covert fifth column invasion that we are currently experiencing in the guise of democracy. As you know, everything is upside down now. Right is left, up is down. Everything our current administration says is a lie, and everything they say about us is pure projection. They accuse the enemy of that which they do. So Julian's Rum is a great analyst of Q data, and he's on Telegram and other platforms, Truth Social now, as I am. And he pontificated since Biden was allowed to get away with the steal, which is being irrefutably proved through many means, including Dinesh D'Souza's upcoming 2,000 Mules, which everyone should watch and share and tell everyone about. The truth is inescapable. You know, people who don't want to believe that Biden is bad or a pedophile, and worse, I assure you, all of these people are Satanists and do unspeakable, unthinkable things to children and animals and each other and their own families. They eat their own. Trump said it, and it is a fact. Whether they are Satanists, Nazis, there's this dark occult energy that they have been using to keep the planet down. And the most important thing we can do is keep our vibe up, because the brighter our light grows, the more their dirty deeds are exposed. Simple. The sunlight is the best disinfectant. Sunlight exposes the dark. So the precipice. So when Biden got away with the steal, which shocked many of us, I thought he would be arrested at the inauguration, but there's value in letting his administration proceed, because finally people are able to see what these dark entities, the invisible enemy in human Democrat form, had in store for humanity, which was mass murder, depopulation through medications, through chipping, through starving us, problems with our food supply. There were many means they were planning to achieve their Agenda 21, which was massive depopulation by 2030. However, they were caught, and they've been allowed to proceed in order that people can see with their own eyes and experience with their own wallets what these entities had planned for us. Whether they are extraterrestrial, whether they are reptilian, whether they're human, it doesn't matter. The fruits of their actions are evil. They are not life-affirming. It is power over others, which is dark, instead of understanding the way of the light, which is power over control, mastery of yourself. So power through owning yourself is very different from asserting domination over others, which is communist rule, Nazi rule, Satanists trying to negatively impact people. You know, when you are of the light and growing it, you benefit everyone simply by being who you are. So the value in meditating, in gaining mastery of yourself, acknowledging when there are problems, which is what I did in my last video. I don't pretend that everything is perfect in my life, because I am a human being and I deal with issues, and I'm very good at dealing with my issues, which is why I share my processes. So, precipice. So, Julian's Rum was wondering if the precipice was a Biden administration. Well, clearly we're surviving that. We're most certainly not thriving. It is serving to wake more people up daily. More Democrats are dem-exiting. More blacks are leaving the Democrat Party. More Latinos. There is a mass exodus as the Democrat Party implodes, but we're watching it in real time. And again, experiencing something is much more powerful than someone telling you, oh, those people are bad, because people didn't believe Trump about the swamp. They thought he was the swamp. Well, they were wrong. So Julian's rum just wondered if nuclear holocaust was the prospect of nuclear holocaust was the precipice. And I share that because I think that's a likely possibility. He is leading us to the brink of war. Trump, of course, we had no war under Trump for the first time ever, any presidency, right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone squeaked in some peace there in our 250 years, but we are edging inexorably toward a potential World War III involving nuclear arms. Am I worried about this? No. And the reason I'm not is because I know that the light has already won. Patriots are in control, white hats, which includes benevolent extraterrestrials. There's no question there are benevolent entities, both physically manifested and non-physically manifested, that are guiding this country as a divine destiny, and we are fulfilling it. And I read somewhere that George Washington, who was absolutely divinely guided, was visited by 3 green lights, which could have been spiritual beings, they could have been extraterrestrial. The point was he was guided, as were all our founding fathers. And I am sick of hearing people malign Ben Franklin and even Lincoln. You know, everyone's got some beef with them. They have done amazing jobs. It's not easy starting a country. It's not easy leading a revolution, a spiritual revolution, which is what this country represents. The equality of man, the freedom of man, the right, the freedom to express yourself as a sovereign being is what this country represents. And we are fulfilling that destiny now. But this great awakening represents an awakening of the consciousness of man and individual sovereignty, not just the sovereignty of the United States, but of the individual being. So stop blaming Big Pharma, stop blaming chemtrails. This is the playing field that we're dealing in. We're dealing in 3D black and white reality, and that is the setting of the game. We are living in a game, and this is an illusion. And in this illusion, which is very real, right? We see it, smell it, touch it, taste it, and feel it, which is amazing. You can lose your life, and we all do at the end of this game. But you know, it's like Etch-a-Sketch. You wipe the slate and then you start another game somewhere else, because the soul cannot die, the spirit cannot die. Consciousness is eternal, and we just take different forms. As nature shows us every spring, nature reincarnates every year. Our bodies renew our cells every day. So regeneration is the way of life. So refresh your mind. So I'm confident that we already won, but what may play out, and frankly, the more dramatic the better, because I am in New York City surrounded by people who still have no clue that anything's wrong. To the extent that they know something's wrong, they're still double masked, okay? They think that wearing a mask will protect them from high gas prices and whatever's going on with Biden, which they can't quite put their finger on because they know he's a good guy because he's a Democrat, right? They really don't know what's going on. And because we're living in a world of smoke and mirrors and illusion and manipulation that is perpetrated by the media, by our corrupt politicians, Hollywood, you know, we've been manipulated and mind controlled in so many forms by the world that surrounds us, which many people take as real and authoritative and genuine, which it's not. It's designed to distract us from what's really been going on, which has been a dark control of our planet by these globalists represented by the Vatican, the richest of the rich, the people whose names you beyond the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the hidden hand, you know, the secret hand that's been behind the scenes controlling things in a dark way. But again, the light is growing, the dark is being exposed. So, nuclear holocaust. Don't be afraid. 9/11 was absolutely a false flag. Most people know this by now. There were no planes. There were holograms. Use your head. There were explosions, for sure. And there's footage of cops and firemen saying, I heard explosions, I heard bombs popping. They heard popping sounds. Those were bombs in the various floors that were set over probably the previous year by elevator workers, possibly Mossad. You know, who was really behind it? We'll find out. Was it Saudi Arabia? We'll find out. I'm confident of that. But it was a false flag event designed to get us involved in more wars, which we did. And people like Cheney, who owned Halliburton, made billions of dollars. I mean, the military-industrial complex has made trillions of dollars over the years through our death and destruction. And literally our misery, our fear, our sadness is their energetic food. These dark entities thrive on our misery and our pain, which is where adrenochrome comes in. I'll just mention that word, but it represents the parasitic, vampiristic, literal sucking of our blood, and the more tortured, the better. Adrenochrome is the adrenalized blood, generally of children, and because they're pure and innocent, and their torture creates a very specific drug for these elites. So that is coming out. That will continue to come out. Peace. So in the middle of all this, and you can hear that New York City is very quiet right now, things are not normal. This we're not back to normal, and we'll never get back to normal, and thank God for that, because we were living in a corrupted, manipulated world. So grow your peace vibe. However you do that, it's going to be unique for each of us. Do not live in fear. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Living in fear disempowers you, and when you are disempowered, you are controllable, right? How many things are we afraid of? And even truthers, oh, you can't eat that, you can't drink this. I'm like, living in fear disempowers you. So, it's an imperfect world. I heard one person say a little poison's good for you. I don't know if that's true, but the body can handle it, and the body flushes things out. So trust your body. Trust your body to flush out what it doesn't need. I don't drink pure water. I drink New York City tap water. Whatever's in it, I'm still here. But I don't think, oh, ick, when I drink it, which I used to. And I used to filter my water, and that got expensive and annoying, and then the pitcher gets moldy, and you're like, there's no one perfect solution. And because we live in an imperfect world, accept the fact that you can be perfectly imperfect, and you can be okay, and you can survive, and you can thrive. So when I drink the water, I bless it, I purify it with my thoughts. This is pure, clean water. And that's how I roll, So we make it up as we go. We are the creators in our life. Your mindset affects your reality, and it is possible to be peaceful even at the precipice. I welcome the precipice because I'm tired of being surrounded by brain-dead zombies who believe everything they read, everything they hear from the TV. New York was obsessed with Ukraine mania, mainly because we had blue and yellow plastered everywhere, subliminal images on kiosks and bus stops, blue and yellow. It was omnipresent. Buildings were lit up yellow and blue. Now, with the Roe v. Wade leak, where did Ukraine go? It's like people are so gullible. They literally just follow the herd. They are sheep, But I'll tell you this: 2 masks is not going to protect you from nuclear holocaust. Duck, roll, and cover, like they said in the 50s in the Cold War. So live in peace, live in confidence. You're watching a movie. Q said it. You are watching a movie. The events that are unfolding. Yes, people died during 9/11, but it was still a psyop, and it was still a false flag, and it was not as it was explained. There was no plane at the Pentagon. That was a missile. There was no plane wreckage in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I mean, the evidence is irrefutably out there, and you can research it for yourself. That being said, 3,000 people were killed in that building, and however else in those planes. I don't know what the details are of those missing, allegedly downed planes. But, again, the Great Awakening doesn't stop death. People are born every day, people die every day. So trust yourself, trust your karma, trust your life, trust your God, however your belief system works. Faith in the goodness of man, faith in the goodness of God and the universe. Again, this is a universe where dark and light are allowed to play out. Clearly, God doesn't intervene. This is allowed. So you could go further and say that dark is serving the light. It is serving to help us learn in this 3D realm what it's like to be in a world of choice, of extreme darkness, you know. It informs the world we live in, it informs who we choose to be. So I am not worried about a nuclear holocaust because it will not come to pass, but I do believe the very real threat of it will be presented to us. Possibly, you know, the future is not set. There are possibilities and there are probabilities. The future is not written in stone. However, certain outcomes are. This game is coming to a close, and the light wins because light is all there is. Darkness is an illusion. Darkness is the absence of light. As the light grows, darkness simply fades away, and you see it was an empty movie set. It was an empty black stage where all this stuff came to light. So, to the best of your ability, enjoy the show, as they say, and when you're not able to, take care of yourself, because we all have personal dramas that we're working out, our soul stuff that we are working out as we move into this next phase of cosmic consciousness, galactic consciousness, planetary consciousness, and we are all vessels of the light. So remember that. Know who you are, know what you are, know why you're here, and know how you serve the light. We are all ultimately in service to the light, even the dark, because it helps us discern and it helps us learn, and darkness defines the light. If there was only light, you wouldn't even know what it was. If there was only you in the world, you wouldn't know what you were because there was nothing to compare it to. So this is the benefit of contrast, of diversity. So don't curse your enemy. Focus on what you want. Grow your vision, grow your trust, love, and respect for yourself. And that has to come first, because if you are not whole within yourself, it's not effective to help other people. And it's most important that people help themselves and not constantly be helped. You're really not helping them if you're always offering, you know, an arm up to someone who's not pulling their own weight. We have to learn in this time how to become sovereign beings. So enjoy your day, enjoy yourself, and have fun.